This is a very specific message meant for who it's meant for, okay? If somebody speaks on wanting to be monogamous, but feels like they're unable to control their sexual impulses, okay? Or if somebody talks about casual sex and allows themselves to be led by sexual desire, it's often the case, usually, that this is somebody who also places a lot of value on kind of external validation, if you will, so in themselves and in others. So, you know, how someone's appearance, how someone is perceived from the external, from people looking in, right? It's also someone who can usually struggles with, fears, avoids true depth of emotional intimacy, okay? This is somebody who very likely has a lot of trauma stored up in and severely blocking their sacral chakra, okay? So whilst there's somebody who wants to stay stable and has a lot of focus on stability, there's somebody who finds it difficult to access that kind of, that level of self-worth that isn't determined by anything and anyone outside of them, but is what's happening within, including that empathy and compassion from that heart space, okay? It's likely that this is somebody who might struggle with addictions, attachments, okay? So like codependency, or even just complete like avoidance of actually, like I said, that true deep emotional connection, right? I say deep, but truly it's just that it's how you connect in a healthy union or relationship, especially sacred union, okay? And you know, the difficult thing about this is that it's often the case that the more that they feed that way of thinking, which again is massively, especially the term casual sex, right? If that's believed to be true, then that is a very much 3D constructed and conditioned paradigm belief system that is reinforced by external vices, pulls, I'm hearing like even advertising and things like that. So society will actually applaud somebody for behaving in whatever ways are keeping them suppressed in that space, right? And reward it, truly. So it's not something that's easy to recognize, if you will, especially if someone's reinforcing their own behaviors by continuing that kind of making those choices, okay? Kind of that sexual energy, the power of that. You know, once you truly recognize how sacred, I'm not just saying that as a buzzword, but truly the deep meaning of sacred your soul is, and the vessel that is carrying you through your current incarnation, your physical body is genuinely your holy temple. That is how you will start to see yourself once you recognize the sanctity of the whole of you, truly. And you will not allow anyone or anything to access you, or even the way you put yourself out there will be very, spiritual hygiene will be on point, okay? Now, of course, it's not like you're perfect human, you know, I've said this before, to be human is by default to be flawed, okay? But you will be so careful with what you're consuming and who gets to access you, okay? 8 of Cups. So it seems like someone's recognizing what they need to walk away from in whatever this is that they're going through, okay? There's something about someone's truly accessing their divinity and wanting to act in those ways too, take the right actions in that space. And something about that sacral chakra as well. It could be that someone's getting more creative, accessing that creative flow more, not just outsourcing in sex, right? But recognizing there's other outputs too. It's also something that's going to feed into whatever their divine purpose is. That energy, it's very powerful energy, you know, it's creation. 8 to the 9 of Cups. This is definitely somebody who's recognizing it. And I feel like and the Ace of Cups, they're definitely accessing the heart space. So this is what's been blocked off, or they're going to be. Remember how I said that, a heart space? They're recognizing, they're having some kind of awakening here. And it's like it's leading them to their true heart's desires, not just their sexual desires and impulses anymore. that means someone's truly been, and especially with this Eight of Cups, they've been walking away. That feels like a heavy energy. They've been walking away from cups that they thought were full of hope, faith, but I think that they were being overly optimistic in a place where it's like they were pouring themselves into something or someone or whatever, and it was just draining them. And you know, who I mentioned at the beginning are often the kind of people, usually it'll be somebody who will find themselves in situations where they're, even if they don't want to be with multiple partners, they'll have somebody they keep going back to, or allow somebody they keep allowing back in, right? Because they've found this kind of almost like a bond, a connection there, right? So though they can't see, like, offer themselves that true emotional intimacy and depth, they've still got this connection that allows them to keep fueling, right? Keep going back, and it's just based that sex, right? But it makes them feel more fuller in a way that it's hard to explain if someone's been in that situation. So I'm picking up on here, okay? It's also someone who might actually end up in situationships, whatever that means. Sad thing about this is somebody, usually this can be somebody who actually doesn't realize this is what's happening. Even they're wondering what's going on, okay? But it feels like this is what someone's they've been addressing. They've clearly been going deep within their kind of the inner working of their mind. Yeah, Eight of Swords. There was some kind of patterning, conditioning that they were stuck in, and they're finally freeing themselves from that, which is so beautiful. It takes a lot of work. And that sacral can store trauma from past lives, okay, as well as childhood. So it's deep. Okay, it's such a powerful and beautiful chakra point. Swadhisthana chakra, it's known as, okay. Colour orange, water element, super important. I think that, again, they're working on their expression. I was just going to say they're working on their creative expression specifically, and now we just have the Page of Wands. So I feel like that's confirmation. Two of Wands as well, page 2. I think someone they're learning how to take the right approach, the right action, based off what happened in the past. They're learning. They're truly seeing things through the eye of their soul. Through the eyes of their heart. They're connecting way more with their soul. It feels like they're coming into their own alignment, but it's not come without the actual weight of emotion being released. Yeah, I think that they've had to walk away from situations that they've known for a very long time, that were fulfilling them in a way that was feeding their emotional wounds, right? But it was just constantly like pouring into. It's almost like, I'm specifically hearing cup of poison, so it's almost like drinking from a tank that just constantly is empty, but they thought that it was being filled. But you know, it's like the dopamine hit of, you know, sex, right? Seven of Cups there as well, so definitely that tempting energy. And the Devil, yeah. It's kind of like once you've had that release, the fulfillment of it, you might think that it's so fulfilling, but once you've released, it's like, well, hold on, was it actually that fulfilling, or is it just a constant empty void again, right? When you're in that situation specifically, right? When you've not addressed that healing. And I think someone's really began to see things differently. They want to, instead of chasing a high, is what I've heard there, they don't want to chase a high anymore. And that's massively what they've been doing a lot of. It's kept them in such an imbalanced state. You know, it's like they wanted to pour into so much, but they've just been so stuck in whatever this is. Queen of Cups, Four of Cups, and the King of Cups as well, coming into alignment. Truly. So someone's really beginning to recognize what is available to them, what they truly could have from that heart space. And it's kind of like the binds that were keeping them attached is what's being released. Queen of Wands, they're walking away from whatever this lustful energy was, right? Whatever was allowing them to continue to fuel this, to continue to go back to that kind of, you know, I'm hearing like rendezvous and just like that spontaneity is what they thought it was, but in fact it was just again that the energy of just feeling that almost like a quick high, right, that we mentioned. But I'm hearing something about this is something that has stayed with them for a long time, so it must be from a young age that they've felt this. Ace of Wands, okay, they want a new beginning here. They want a new beginning, and it's towards their heart's desires, no longer from this place of just lust fueled, right? It's like they want to channel that. They want to channel that kind of sacral. The Emperor. That's very fiery, ruled by Mars as well. So, they want to channel that kind of that energy into their heart's desires now. They want to fill their heart's cups, and they're understanding this better about that this is the power that this holds, like this life force energy of theirs. They're having the strength here. They're gathering the strength here to the Lovers at the bottom of the deck as well, to move forwards. I think they're placing better boundaries with this energy as well around them. Definitely, they've had to almost like isolate themselves from certain situations they were stuck in for a long time. I feel like this energy felt bound, almost like, you know how I was talking about how it can be regularly extremely impulsive. It's like they were the opposite end of the scale as well. They've experienced King of Wands as well. So it's kind of like they've it's like someone was, I don't know if like it feels like there was these tight binds around them, and it kind of kept pulled down on this energy, so they didn't have that life force, they didn't have this zest for life anymore. That's what it feels. But again, it was like addictions are like that as well. They can have you feeling like that, you know, when you get to that point where you just you want to overcome the addiction, but it's almost like it's so draining that it's just it's pouring the life out of you. It's like they can't help, they've been through this situation, they just can't help but feed it, because it's the only thing that's going to help them feel some kind of, give them some kind of breath, right? Magician here with the Five of Swords as well. So I feel like in the Star, Aquarius energy, feels like they're really unbinding themselves. They're recognizing the power that they have. This could be, I've heard like, what's that term? Like a real manifester. It could be somebody who has really manifesting skills, if that's the word, but somebody who really has the power to create their reality, especially if they've got this energy. I mean, gosh, you know, this is like a powerful energy. The World, they're closing this out. They're learning a lot from this old way, these past ways though, you know, just allowing that like that sexual energy to just like constantly flow and lead without having the stability of that, like again, the King of Wands, that masculine energy within. They're understanding better how to hone in on that. There's something from the past. There's something from the past that has been quiet that they secretly desire. They truly secretly desire. It might be this kind of connection that they had with somebody, a sexual connection, that actually they want more, like more of that emotional bond with. And it's like they're realizing this. And this wouldn't shock me if this is like a divine connection, okay? Because somebody's had to really recognize and heal through that here. Somebody here could wear very unusual jewelry as well. And I'm hearing something about, you know, like the military or just that kind of uniform. Something about that's come through as well, okay? And this could also be somebody who has some kind of childhood secret, if you will, that they are also wanting to speak on, okay? Chariot and the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, they're gathering the strength to really create this reality. I mean, wow. It just takes one decision. Okay, let's just see. I feel like there's a block here, right? The Wheel. No, that's changing. I want to get another one for that. Yeah, okay. Slowly but surely, they're bringing down their guards, okay? But also, I feel like slowly but surely, they're wanting to pursue this, whatever this is from the past, that they want, their heart's desires, that they're fueled. It's like they're redirected, or really, not just redirected, I think it was already there, but it's like they're really pouring and investing more into whatever this is that they desire now, and not just like having this pull left, right and centre like it was here, just constant sexual impulse. It's a really specific message, okay? We've got the Four of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So they know what they want. But that, yeah, I think that it's not just addictions. There's something else here as well that I think they're currently working on, that they've struggled with, truly. It could be related. Something that's been, it's like it's been their I've heard like a fallback plan or something. So it's almost like it's in the background, no one knows about it. It's something that they constantly go back to, or they have done. And it's like they constantly need more. But that's what they're healing from. This is like deep in that chakra point. Page of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. This is that divine connection, I'm telling you. This is somebody who wants to move towards this Queen of Cups they're seeing, they're watching, they're learning about. Whether this is, I do feel like it's somebody from the past, okay? Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. And then the Four of Wands and the Eight of Wands again. This is somebody really accessing their heart space, and they're doing it because they know, they see very clearly who and what they want here. Okay, For a long time they haven't seen that. That's come out with these cards of really that inner conflict, that telling themselves the same pattern. They're doing things differently. You've got the Magician here. They're truly doing things differently. They're understanding differently, which is why they're finally addressing whatever this is that they're needing to heal through, okay, clear through, because there's been such an imbalance. And more than anything, they've felt it within them. It has nothing to do with anyone outside of them. It's been within them. There's been an imbalance, I've heard, in their finances as well as a result of this, which again is massively connected to that chakra point, okay? And it's going to be important for whatever this is moving forwards with these two. Separation. This is what causes separation, if you're wondering, for this specific energy. This is massively what causes that separation. We've got Virgo energy, got Aquarius energy, we've got Cancer energy, Leo energy, okay? So really important signs as well. Okay. I feel like you might have had a bit of a honeymoon period with somebody. Passion. It was that, again, ignited by that energy. Though there was something deeper beneath the surface attracting you, it was acted out in this impulsive, like, let's roll way. Even if this wasn't the intention, it's how it played out, because this is how somebody constantly played out their cycles. Pay attention to the red flags. They weren't paying attention to the red flags. It was so normal to them. But I also feel like you, or whoever the divine feminine energy is here, feels like allowed this. So you both had healing here to do, okay? You deserve love. Oops. You are lovable. That's why it was like this. Somebody fell back to this. Again, remember that self-worth? They hadn't worked past that, through that, to access the heart. So they kept falling back into that sacral, that unhealthy, unbalanced sacral. New love. There's new love coming through. Opportunity for newness, okay? And again, it's going to be that energy of clearing through the past, so you can really bring in a new cycle now. That cycle needed to happen in the past for what it did, fine. Unrequited love. Yeah, you can't bring that energy into the forward movement, you know, when you don't love yourself enough, which that's what this is giving, especially with that you are lovable. Someone wasn't loving themselves enough, so they were constantly allowing this card that just keep wanting to come out. Passion. Constantly allowing passion to fuel them and validate them that, you know, they're wanted, they're desired, you know, full sense of kind of completion, trust, like feeling whole, when they need to find that wholeness within. Okay, that's why there was that imbalance. That's why there's so much feeding on external energies. And when I say external energy, I'm talking about those addictions or those connections that were just fueling this. Okay, keeping an open mind here. I think also keep an open mind with someone's backstory, with whatever they've been through. Yeah, because that can often massively, again, store in that sacral chakra and present as these kind of addictions moving forwards. Okay, calling in your person. Keep an open mind, so you know what you desire. Prayer is really important here. Prayer is super important. And allow divine to deliver your destiny in a way where you are aligning with it. Okay, soul mate, so your soul person, this is your soul person. Okay, because I think that you can question it, you know, if somebody's acted in these ways, these wounded ways, and you've allowed it as well, and you know, there's so much that you question, like, is this supposed to, you know, what is this, right? So you do ask that, let go of control issues, release it. You don't need to hold on to it, you don't need to touch it, release it. What's meant to come into your alignment is meant to be yours will. You just focus on staying in your alignment, on your purpose. Children, again, that's confirmation, something to do with childhood. Somebody could even have ended up in that situation with children. You know, the sad thing about it is that when you do have those when you are blocked in that energy, that, and you're releasing and externally kind of outsourcing that energy in this kind of way that we've been mentioning, they can sometimes end up being, you know, innocent little souls coming onto earth, and then they have to clear through that karma, they carry it, of their parents. Heart-to-heart conversations. So maybe that is something that happened, you know, for them. And again, that might have happened in the separation phase, which is again that keep an open mind. Release your ex. Release your ex. So this could be something to do with somebody who, again, they are releasing this. This is what's taking their time as well, I will say. It's like they're having a complete overhaul, is what I've heard. But they're really needing to address what kept them in those situations to begin with. And it's coming through as that past connection, right? I will say this. This is, both of you were in this energy Okay, so I feel like the divine feminine here, it's time to allow yourself to see things from a new perspective. You've been massively tapping into this beautiful heart space, learning compassion, empathy for yourself and for the world, truly, which is what's allowing you to see that you are lovable, right? But also, don't allow yourself to stay stuck in that past version of yourself, but also this person. Allow them to come through how they need to as well. Get to know each other again, right? Because there's a lot that's happened in between. Surrender to the divine, massive. This is what I'm saying, release it. You know, whatever's happening right now, the more you focus on you and find your inner alignment, the more that you can just allow what needs to come to you to come, the alignment, the divine alignment of this connection to come through as well. Okay, and you're not holding on to expectations and attachments of a certain template or the way things need to be, right? That's what you, because you've been walking away from that as well, just being desired and lusted after. Okay, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Capricorn energy there as well. Okay, which is super important. Yeah, Taurus energy, your dreams need a practical plan. So maybe just focus on what it is that you want to like bring into fruition, okay, in your world. What is it that you do desire? Something about that kind of, that kept hearing manifestation for some reason. I don't often use that word. Prayers as well. It's time to take action, okay? So again, yeah, that energy, that fiery energy within, redirecting that towards the action that is more fueled by your divine purpose, okay, and not impulsively led, okay? Step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, I think this is doing things very different. The action that's been taken is going to be very different as well, okay? Got Aries energy as well, okay, and Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. When you step out of your comfort zone, doing things differently, no longer staying in this state of kind of internal war zone, internal conflict, that's just trickling into the feeding into the same kind of thought patterns, and which ends up being the same emotions. That's like that unhealthy cycle that you're continuing to internally cycle through. That is what you're releasing. Have faith in your dreams. You're finally having faith in your dreams. Energy is gaining momentum, okay? Nothing is yet set in stone, okay? The energy is gaining momentum. So there's change coming, but it's kind of needing you right now to hold more faith in the vision ahead than what's gone, and also to stay in your alignment so you're not just stuck in those lower chakras. The answers you need are coming. What do you need to release? In order for you to receive these answers, there is this release that needs, hold your vision, this release that needs to take place. And I think it's to do with this past version of yourself, of each other, and whatever happened. There was something here that was very much led by wounds. There's this guarded energy, especially for the divine feminine energies, you know, who's been really healing through this and releasing this. So you can finally receive what it is that is in alignment with your heart's truth, okay? That's another thing, you know, with the divine masculine specifically, divine feminine wants to see you in your truth. What is your truth? You know, your purpose. And that doesn't mean, you know, you've got like this plan, this whole path figured out, especially when you come into sacred union, you figure that you have a whole purpose together anyway. But in terms of in yourself, how much are you choosing you, your sovereignty, your integrity, your heart, right? So it's a very specific message. I'm just going to see if there's anything else here that you need to know. Right about now, there is that beautiful healing taking place with that that sacral chakra. So we've got let go of fear now. This situation is already resolved. You and your loved ones are safe. Okay, so whatever's holding you back from moving forwards with this, it's really just about going within now and having faith and trust in, again, having faith in your dreams, in that new vision that's coming ahead. But again, that self-worth, that solar plexus energy is also going to truly allow you to step into that heart without the need for validation, but more about, you know what, how can I give? How can I receive an equal take in alignment with my purpose, right? And that will allow you to be so much, yeah, Aquarius energy was coming through, right? Your authenticity, your independence within that as well, okay? Let me know if this very specific and unique, beautiful message was for you, okay? Sending so much love.